welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, hello, my name is Sam and it is lovely to meet you. If you're not new around here, welcome back to the Funhouse. If you haven't already guessed, today we are going to be playing with the Odens collection, the Perfect World collection. I am super excited. I've had these for about a week now and I just have not had a chance to sit down and actually film with them. So I'm super excited. So excited. It is a Tuesday afternoon and we're just going to dive straight into it. So this is the box that arrived on my doorstep, and check out this beautiful packaging. That is absolutely out of this world. I think Odens could possibly be one of the highest palettes that I love for creativeness and for the artwork and stuff. It's just honestly absolutely stunning. Now for the first 1,000 people that ordered, you also got the scarves. Now I've only took out the one scarf and it has a knot in it already because, you know, I was messing about with it basically. So this was Battybean's scarf actually. So she created the Planet Spirit palette and look at that artwork. Look at the animals, absolutely stunning. Like the artwork is just impeccable. And each scarf was just the colour basically of the person that created the palette. And I just think, and it just matches the artwork and design on the palette. So there is this like pinky, orangey, those are going to be so beautiful in the springtime. And I've also got, oh sorry, the blue one. I'm saying sorry to a box. Sorry my darling. You also got the blue one and the green one, which I haven't taken out yet, but I can do when we get to those palettes. And this, I think this is like a scarf as well. I'm not too sure. I don't think I would personally wear it as a scarf, but yeah, here you go. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning, and I'm sat right behind it, so I'm hoping that it was all picked up on camera. So yeah, I don't know if the first 1,000 have been sold, but everything will be linked down below, the palettes. So, and I'm not too, like I said, I don't know if the scarves are still available or if they've sold the first 1,000, but I know if you just picked up an individual palette, you got the scarf to match that palette. So the other two creators, so this is Battybean. Let's just look at this one. We'll do it individually. I followed Battybean now for a few months. She was quite a late person to my watch list, I guess, but she's fab, absolutely fab. And if you don't want to sit and watch like makeup all the time, like she also does like vlogs and stuff, which I find like super interesting. So that is just the outer packaging, and then the inner packaging just looks exactly the same. How sick, just how sick is that? It also has a mirror, and then these shades right here. When I saw it, I was a bit like, I don't know if that's Battybean's. I don't think I followed her long enough to know what I thought I had, to know if this was her colour story, because she's always reminded me of this grungy princess type of person, and I was a bit like, I was a bit confused because I was a bit like, that's not really her colour story, but I'm guessing she likes colour as well. She obviously did do her 2 collaborations with Shroud Cosmetics, but there was also that grungy dark colour in there with the pops of colour, and I was like, okay, this is like, I feel out of her comfort zone, but I don't know, maybe I just haven't followed her long enough to realise that this could also be one of her perfect collections. And I think it's also really good that it's something different, because the one that she did, the 2 that she did with Shroud Cosmetics, like I say, they were more on that grungy Halloweeny vibe style. So this is beautiful, and I think this is going to be a perfect palette for like your summer, summer, should I say, in the right order. Yeah, so I absolutely love that one, and that was the Planet Spirit palette. The next 2, I'm not going to lie, Laurenmaebeauty that did, let me find it in my box down here. So she did the Sea Talk palette. When I first probably started watching YouTube, which has been about 2.5 years ago now, yeah, I did catch a glimpse of her and stuff like that. I probably wasn't subscribing to many people, to be quite honest. I was just like typing in makeup bits if I was interested, and then seeing like what kind of reviews came up, and then obviously she probably really like got lost as I started to subscribe to channels and stuff like that. So yeah, I did, when obviously they came out with the names, I was like, I don't know who that is, and then I typed her in, I was like, oh yeah, I actually have watched her before. So yeah, she is also linked down below. Their Instagram and YouTube channels will be linked down below for you, but this is the one that she come out with, and according to everybody that, you know, has done a million reviews of these palettes now, this is her type of colour story. She is very much a shimmer heavy person, and I think I remember that. I'm sure she like talks about like shimmer and sparkle and stuff like that. So that actually makes a lot of sense that she has that, and she loves a bright inner corner. So obviously she threw in the electric kelp yellow. I think that's gonna like be her signature inner corner type of thing. But I love the fact that this palette actually has neutrals. Now, I do love shimmers, I do. But I have got more into mattes. So is this going to have enough mattes in for me? It does only have 3, because this is more like a satin shade up here. So yeah, I'm not too sure how many looks I'm going to be able to create with that. But I'm very, very interested. And when combining these palettes, I think that's going to be amazing. And the last one, which is the Flora Story palette. This was by a person that I'd never even heard of, not over on YouTube, not over on Instagram, but I know she does a lot of reviews on Colourpop. So obviously I'm not a massive Colourpop person, so she probably hasn't cropped up on any of my recommendations or things like that. But I think she absolutely killed this one. And again, I've heard so many people say that this is her like perfect colour story. I'm not too sure if Lauren or Makeup Just for Fun has had collaborations with anyone else, or if this is their first one. If it is, huge congratulations. That is absolutely amazing, and this is what she looks like. And I gotta say that this, I think, is gonna be my favourite. I think I just love green eyeshadow, and green and purple together. I think this purple down here looks absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I think this might be the one that I go with today. I'm super, super excited. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful palette. So yeah, so let's just dive right in and create our first look with one of these beautiful, stunning palettes. I am absolutely so excited. So I've zoomed you all in so you can see my pretty face. Primed with Kiko Milano eye base, and we are definitely going to be playing with the Flora Story. I just can't help myself. I really, really can't. Let's take out this plastic sheet and let's do some swatches. So I don't normally do live swatches, but I figured today I think that I might. Shall we do it? It's only 10 shades, so yeah, I think I'm just going to go down like that. So shall we start with maybe from the deepest and go to the lightest? So first we have the shade Lush, Orchid, Sage and Misty. My little finger is not the best. Oh, that is pretty beautiful. Oh, again, very pigmented. And oh, that is so sparkly. Wow, you can create a beautiful look just with those 4 colours. And then we've got Magnolia, which looks a little bit more softly pressed. Azalea, Shroom, and Best Buds. So look. Oh wow, that is beautiful. I didn't think that was going to be that pigmented, to be honest. Oh. Wow, the shimmers so far, guys. Look how sparkly they are. Jesus. And then we have got the last 2, which is Dawn. Oh, that feels a little bit wet. Oh, it feels a little bit putty-y. Putty-y? Putty-like. And Clover, which is my rabbit's name. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I feel like this is definitely going to be my favourite palette. I have to use this shade. I just have to. And this is what we've got. I feel like I might do purple on the top and maybe a bit of a pop of green underneath. Just try and wipe my arm off. So we're going to start out with the shade Orchid, and no, we're not. We're absolutely lying. We're going to start out with the shade Shroom, I think. And we're just going to blend this through the crease, kind of like a transition shade, which is something different. I don't normally do transition shades. A lot of kick up in these palettes, by the way, just from first touch. Yeah, do you have any Odens? What is your favourite palette from them? I absolutely love Odens. I'm not gonna lie, I was literally just sat here because my Bob Mitchell was bringing out his blush book. I mean, I'm not too sure if you can see the kick up in that pan. Yeah, he's bringing out his blush book, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm just like, I wasn't actually feeling it, to be quite honest. I am a blush whore. I just feel like there's a lot of shades in there that I wouldn't use. So I've decided to be good and not get it. I'm really watching this month. I've bought some hair care stuff and some skincare, but I don't feel like I've been ridiculous with what I've been purchasing. I'm just taking this like a little bit above the crease. Were you guys happy with the 3 people that Odens I had chosen for this collaboration? Were you hoping for somebody else? I was kind of hoping that Steph's Beauty Stash. I mean, I'm so happy that all 3 of these, obviously you kind of guess the people that you follow, so you know, yeah, so I was guessing, should I say, that Steph's Beauty Stash was going to be one of them. I thought maybe Heather Austin might have been one of them. Yeah, and I couldn't think of the third person that I said. No idea. Oh, I think I said Patty Alonso. I thought that she might have done a collab, but yeah. No, I'm happy, buzzing. You should always big up people because, you know, it's just the best way to be. And then we're going to go into the shade Azalea and take that through the crease. Same brush, just going to dust that off a little bit. Oh, and not get dog hair all over me. And go into, oh yeah, a lot of kick up in these shades. And this time I'm going to focus that directly through the crease. Right here. Sorry. I just think like this type of palette is just so like versatile. I really do. I'm definitely going to be creating so many looks with these through March, so definitely keep your eyes peeled. If you are not subscribed already and you want to stick around, make sure you do. I can't believe I'm 7 subscribers off 100, and I know to some people that's like 100, wow. But to me, like, it is, I'm just so grateful, like, that people want to sit here and actually listen to me, especially like this common accent and fell dirty mouth sometimes. It just amazes me. Just going to take that on the edge a little bit as well. These shades are very buildable. I wouldn't say right off the bat you get the shade in there. I do think that it takes a little bit of building, but I think that's a good thing for beginners or people that, like myself, are heavy-handed. You know, sometimes I don't want to dip in once and just have one bam and then I'm really struggling to blend it out or something. I really like to be able to, you know, build it up. I prefer that. But then I'm in the middle because I kind of want it to be pigmented, but I don't want it to be overly pigmented that it's hard to blend out. Does that make sense? And it's just started to rain. My daughter has danced in a little bit. Yeah. So I'm going to go in now with my Refa 14 and we're going to go into the shade Orchid. I just had to be done, didn't it? And oh wow, this is so kick-uppy. This is like really kick-uppy. And I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to keep doing circular motions. I like the fact that this palette has depth. Battybean's palette does not have depth, and it kind of scares me a little bit, to be honest. But I think coming like spring and summer, I tend not to put a really dark shade on the outer corner anyway. I know some people just do that all of the time, but I don't, because I just feel like I want to, you know, look bright and colourful and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't tend to go too heavy on the depths in the spring and summer. Just going to slightly blend that through the crease with the other shades so everything blends out nicely, but that's just blended into that like beautifully. But it's kept its depth, it hasn't run away with the colour. So I'm just going to go back through the back. Shall we do the lower lash line? No, because I'm going to do my whole makeup first, because every time I do that I end up coming back and having to like reapply it anyway. So I'll do my base first. Yeah, I'm just going to go back through the shades just to make sure that they are, you know, you've got some difference between them and you can see what is what. I really don't know what shades to go, shimmers to go into. It's definitely going to be that Magnolia. Can people tell that I'm doing like a total mom look today? I do have 2 kids and yeah, sometimes I just have to do a mom look because yeah, I don't have time. I'm going back into shroom. Just don't have time to sit here and fanny about. Shroom is beautiful. I really love that shroom colour. I think this is definitely going to be my favourite. I don't know though. I do love blue, but I just feel like there's not going to be enough mattes in there. Although I like shimmers, I think I like it to be more 50-50 or maybe 60-40. Maybe like 1 extra matte, just so it's like more versatile. Yeah. But I can't wait to use these palettes like together. It's going to be like insane. Let's find myself a clean, fluffy brush. And then I'm just going to go around the edges just to make sure everything's blended together oh so nicely. And then because I don't have time to like stick glitter glue or anything down and I haven't done my base, I'm just going to go with my finger today. God, I'm so lazy. I wouldn't normally, I would go in with a brush and, you know, really work at it, but today I just really do not have the time. Where was that Refa 14 that I was using? Well, that looks a little bit patchy on the outsides. I really like that shade, and I think you could probably get even darker because these shadows, like I say, are more the buildable like formula. Love it. So I'm gonna go into the shade, I think I'm going to go into the shade Midnight and then into the shade maybe Best Buds, or maybe do, not Midnight, sorry, Magnolia, and then maybe just do Dawn. I don't know. What should we do? Let's see. Here we go. Anyway, this is the shade Magnolia. I mean, come on. That is beautiful. And oh my god. Oh my god, I'm just going to tap it over. Oh. I just, wow. Wow. That's just so flipping sparkly. Oh, Odens eye. You are amazing. I'm sure these shimmers seem like sparklier than their like Christmas collection that they brought out. I'm not too sure, but they're definitely. Odens eye as well are really good at doing like different formulas in their palette. So like this one might not be as sparkly as say Best Buds, but do you know what I mean? Like they're really good at like giving you different formulas, which again I really enjoy. I'm gonna go into the shade Dawn first, and then I'll see. I might just use like Best Buds on the lower lash line. This is definitely more of that putty formula because I've literally just dug my brush into it. Are you kidding me? That has got like the most beautiful like peachy, pinky sparkle to it, but it's green as well. Oh my god. Wow. That is so beautiful. I have literally think that this is pretty much the finished look. I'm gonna hop off camera now and do my base makeup, come back and yeah, show you all the finished look and do my lower lash line with you. So let's dive into the lower lash line, and like I said, I really just want to keep that kind of green. So I think I'm going to go in with the shade Clover and maybe a little bit more of that shroom, just to, you know, maybe, oh my god, I forgot which kickback is in these. I'm just going to drag this all across. So that's quite pigmented actually, just off the bat. I might go into another shimmer because, you know, I want to try and test out as many shades as I can on each palette for you guys. And as I'm filming this, though, these palettes are still in stock. So I'm not actually, I don't think I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to keep that like that. And I'm going to add some of the shade Best Buds on that lower lash line as well. Just on the inner. So off the bat that one doesn't seem like as super sparkly, but I guess until it's on the top, maybe on my lid, I probably won't be able to tell as much. Yeah, it's just something, just adds a little something. I'm just going to hop off camera now, finish off the rest of my makeup, and I'll come back and I will show you all the finished first look. So we're back with the completed look. I am freaking obsessed. This is the scarf that goes with the Flora Story palette. I'm freaking obsessed with these colours. Wow, they are super sparkly. Like, I don't even think the camera is doing them justice. I hope that it is. For lips, I just went in with my Soulful lip kit. I think this is like Toffee Drizzle or something. It was, but yeah, she did. It was from her collection that she launched maybe last year or the year before. I'm not too sure, but she launched 2 of these, so I just used that one. In the waterline, I just used my Made by Mitchell in Nerve, and mascara I just used MAC Stack. So yeah, let's just dive, I can't get enough of this look, but let's just dive into the next palette. So we are back and we are diving in today to the Sea Talk palette. So this is the one that has been created by Odens and Laurenmaebeauty, and this is what the inside looks like. Let's just get rid of that tape, plastic, and yeah, this is what she looks like. Absolutely beautiful. And obviously she came with her very own scarf as well, which I just think is just this might be my favourite scarf actually, like with the turtles on. And I love the ocean, although I'm not a beach lover. I actually really love just the colours of the ocean and stuff like that. So yeah, I just think that this is really really beautiful and probably my favourite scarf out of the whole three that came together. And the look that I want to create today is kind of like, can I show you? I don't know if you can see the look that is on Lauren's eyes there. Well, the picture. Let's have a look. I really got my inspiration. Can you see how it's like that bluey yellow? I really want to try and create that. Now I'm thinking to get that kind of bluey greeny inner portion, I'm gonna have to mix that with this. So I think I'll go on with a bit of that first and then start to pack that over the top, and I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know. I don't normally go in with a deep inner part of the eye, but we're gonna try it. Let's get some swatches done for you first. So we're gonna go in with Ocean Jewel, Night Swim, Mermaid Scale, beautiful name, and Sea Spray. And these are the first swatches, and these have like mermaid scale imprints. Such a nice touch. Please ignore my hand. I was just doing my blush, and I just, yeah, basically. Such a beautiful swatch. So just the first four, again, super sparkly, beautiful. And we're going to go in with Electric Kelp in Iridescent Shell. You can't really see the writing, it's a bit hard. Sunken Treasure and Driftwood. Obviously I'm super excited to use that yellow. That is just, it's calling my name. And I do like the fact that this has neutrals as well. I feel like it could be a palette for everyone. Oh, wow. So excited. Oh my god, that is beautiful. Oh, wow. And the last two, we have Dolphin Tail up here and Smoky Pearl. Does anyone else think that Dolphin Tail was, let's have a look, is it like a bit of like a cool tone? Oh yeah, okay, it's like a grey, browny cool tone. Oh, and that one is, oh, okay, so that is the whole palette swatched out for you. Very sparkly. Again, let's just dive in and create a look today with this palette. This is going to be totally out of my comfort zone. I'm going to go in with Night Swim on the inner portion of my eye. I don't know if this is even going to work, but you know what? You've got to do it, haven't you? You just got to step out of it. Sorry about that. Smooth you back. You've just got to step out of your comfort zone, and yeah, I feel like sometimes that's good for everyone. I've gone in again with the I don't know which eye to start with. I've gone in with the Kiko eye primer, if anyone is wondering. I'm just going to try and just pack this on, and then we'll blend out in a moment. I don't know whether to go right into the inner corner. I'm not too sure, because I might go in with like a, I might go in with that iridescent shell or mermaid scales, I'm not too sure. We'll see how this goes. This feels super weird, I'm not gonna lie, going in with such a dark matte on that inner corner. It's just so weird. But yeah, I loved the vibe of the scarf, and I was like, okay, do we think we can recreate that look with this palette? I'm hoping once I start mixing that yellow over the top, because that's what I'm going to do. I feel like I'm doing my eyes back to front. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the yellow over the top and kind of mix it together, and then hopefully, you know, it's going to create the look that we want. I'm just trying to look at the scarf again to see kind of how far it goes over. It goes over quite far, I think, before it starts to just blend out and do its own little yellow thing. I'm just gonna put that quite far over. I hope you're all having a great week. We're not having the best week here. Like, this week has been super hard for teething and just, oh, it's just been a hard week. Well, we're thinking that it's teething, but she's just going through a phase of not really wanting to sleep in the daytime, and it's hard. It is hard. So next I'm just going to go in and just like blend out those edges, because obviously I'm not going in with a lighter colour or anything. So I'm just going to blend those edges out until I'm happy with them. I don't want to like blend it all up into the brow because we're going to go in with the yellow. I just want to softly, you know, blend the edges, if I haven't said that enough. I'm going to take like a really small blending brush and basically half on, no, maybe like 3/4 on, because like I said, I don't want to blend it out too much. I'm literally just blending onto the shadow and a tiny bit onto the lid. Very small circular motions, just so it's no sharp edges. And can you see it's just starting to slightly blend out ever so slightly, but you're gonna have to probably, you know, just work at this, because I'm not using another shade to blend out. It's blending out effortlessly. But yeah, that's kind of how we want to go. That's kind of how I want it to go for now. I'm going to go in with the electric kelp on the same brush. All I've done is Sigma switched it. If you don't know what a Sigma switch is, this is basically my dirty one that needs another wash with gold flakes all over it. But yeah, it just has like the bumpy bits. So yeah, I'm just gonna take this. I don't know if this is even gonna work, because this is definitely like that satin shade. If you can hear my kids singing background, I do apologize. Yeah, I'm just gonna take that on and just like do some small circular motions, because I don't want it to be obviously too deep. Can you see how it's just changed it like already? That's insane. I wanted it to be that really murky, greeny, yellowy kind of colour, and it's definitely done that. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I just hope with another brush this yellow is gonna be super impactful on kind of the edge of the eye, but we're just gonna see, you know, it's just like blended into that. It kind of has took over that blue, and that blue people will probably think is now completely pointless, but honestly that is you know, kind of how I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like that murky green, yellowy colour. I'm not too sure if I'm matching the scarf. Probably nothing like it. Yeah, so let's find a clean brush and let's pack on this yellow on the outer corner and see where it takes us. I've just picked up a Jessup brush, I believe. No, it's a Morphe brush, one of the vegan ones. And I've got a hair on my face somewhere. And I'm just literally gonna, it's like a flattish but domed kind of brush, so I'll be able to blend out nicely. And I'm really going to coat my brush in this because obviously we want this now to be super impactful. And I'm just going to start to press that all. Oh my god, that is bright. Okay. 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 This girl means business. I might go back in and add a little bit more blue, if I'm being totally honest, just because I want it to, I mean, there is definitely a difference. Yeah, oh wow, I'm just going to start to wing that out because I'm going to take that on the lower lash line as well. I just love it. That yellow shade is kind of everything, to be quite honest. I don't know whether to put a shimmer. I might go in with Mermaid Scale to kind of bring that bluiness back. And then I might go in the inner corner with, was it Iridescent Shell or was it Sea Spray? I literally cannot remember. Yeah, I'm just going to wing that out a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to let this actually looks insane, but it just feels a little bit weird. Yeah, so I'm just going to go back through now, probably add a little bit more blue just to make sure, you know, it definitely is looking that greeny bluey shade. I'm going to do the same colours on the lower lash line, and then we'll be back to test out the shimmers in this palette. I'm super excited. So that is kind of how we're looking at the moment. For shimmer, I'm definitely going to go in with Mermaid Scale, and I'm just going to pat it like over the top. I'm not going to do anything too drastic, just to, you know, bring some shimmer into it and a bit more blue, like the bluey greeny type of look. And then I don't know what to do on the inner corner. I'm still deciding on what to do on that inner corner. I really like Sea Spray, but I also really like Iridescent Shell. I think I'm going to go in with Iridescent Shell. This is more of that like putty formula that we found in one of the shades yesterday. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah. That's just brought like more of like the greeny blue to it. I mean, I could mix them, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, this is definitely more of that putty formula. But yeah, absolutely loving that. Sorry, that is my rabbit. Do apologise. And then we're gonna go in with Iridescent Shell on the inner corner. I have to, this shade, and this is more like the crumbly. That's what I said like yesterday. They have so many different formulas. I don't know if this is going to look right on that inner corner, but that's what we're going to put there anyway. Just going to pat that all on there. Yeah. Just something like that. So that is kind of the finished look. I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything is blended how I want it to, and put something on my lips because this is not good. And then we'll be right back with the finished look. We are back with completed look number 2 using Laurenmaebeauty and Odens Eye Sea Talk palette. Did I cut my lashes a little bit too short? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But yeah, do you like what I did with the scarf? Kind of did it with either half up, half down. And I just think in the summer when you've got your hair like this and you just, you know, you're flicking that beautiful scarf. Honestly, I'm kind of low-key obsessed with these scarves. But yeah, that is just, yeah, that's how we're rolling today. So I used a lip liner from Primark, a lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. What shade is this? Angel Alessandra. And then a lip gloss is from Pat McGrath. This is in the shade Blitz Gold. And in the waterline, I actually put in my Louise Paint Limelight, just to, you know, tie it all in together. And what do we think? I actually really love it. I don't know if I would get away with the green scarf, seeing as this is like a greeny bluey look, but I feel like it definitely matches like the little fishy. Okay, I'm just gonna stop right now and let's get in. I think that's everything that I want to talk about from this palette. Yeah, I think that's kind of everything. So yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm absolutely obsessed. This is definitely another contender. I'm really struggling because they're both so beautiful. But I think I will test the next one and we will see. We'll see which one is going to come out on top of Sam's list. Let's dive into Battybean's palette. Right, so I've gone ahead and I've just done the other eye just because it was simpler and quicker. So today we are going to be doing a look with the Planet Spirit palette. I will of course swatch it for you, but yeah, I definitely have some thoughts about this palette already just from working with it. But yeah, this is what the front cover looks like. Again, like the other two, absolutely beautiful. And the scarf, which I don't have to hand because once again I am unprepared. And I don't know if I'll put the scarf in today just because I've got a hair oil treatment on my hair and I don't want to get it on the scarf, but it's so beautiful. And this is of course a collaboration with Battybean. Yeah, but I think the colour story was right up my alley. From all three of them. I love brights. We're going to be hopefully going into spring this month, towards the end of this month. So of course I'll be really reaching for all my bright palettes because I am a bright lover. But then it came and I opened it and I was like, it's okay, it's not my favourite out of the three, and I was quite surprised. But I was, you know, like the other two, I was going to give it a go, give it a shot and just, yeah, see what I could come up with. But let's just do some swatches and get into the eye look and then I can give you my thoughts. So we're going to go with Majestic, Sanctuary, what is Pride, and Kindred. Some here for you. Oh, I had Biab nails on yesterday. These mattes are very pigmented, which I know Odens Eye are really good at. Those are the first four shimmers. Can you see what I mean by the first four shimmers? They're just not as popping as the first four shimmers of the other palette. So I don't know. So next we're going to go into Animalia. Couldn't say that then. Habitats, Kingdom, and Familiar. I love that colour. That one's beautiful. It reminds me of the show. That green's beautiful. I didn't use that today. The one of the shimmers that came in the singles, was it Charlotte? I think I have that one. I might do a swatch comparison for anybody that has it. And then we have Fauna, and which is very soft. What's that one? Rescue. I feel like I have a hair on my face. Oh, that is so pretty. Okay, so that is the whole palette swatched, and I just don't know. I'm gonna go and just swatch that. I think it's called Charlotte, right next to that one, just to see whether they are similar, in case you had them, in case you bought any of the singles. And we'll be right back. So this is the shade that I'm talking about. Let's just hold up the palette next to it. Can you see they look very, very similar? Very interesting. So I think it's called Charlotte anyway. I will try and get that out of there. Where should we swatch it? Should we swatch it like right here? Yeah, they are pretty much identical. This one's a little bit more pigmented, a little bit more pinky, but no. Should we swatch them actually on the back of my hand? Let's do that. So let's just do that one, and then Animalia from this palette, and then just do them. And you see they're very, very similar. Both got those goldy reflects. So if you already have that one, and you know, if you were buying this palette just for that tone and you already have it, and I'm pretty sure it's Charlotte, so I'm going to try and get it out for you. Yeah, Charlotte from the Odens singles. So let's just dive straight into the look. I'm going to go in and prime my eyes again with the Kiko base. I've been actually quite enjoying this. I didn't when I first bought it, but it seems to be working okay. Haven't done my base makeup yet either, just because I don't really know which way I'm going to be going with my base makeup. And I do prefer, I've put way too much primer on here, I do prefer to do my eyes first. It kind of just gives me like the whole of what like blush I want to use and highlighter, so I do tend to prefer to do my eyes first. Anyway, I've just put way too much primer on there. Never mind, it's fine. It's one of those days. It's Friday. I really want to try and get this video up today if I can. Yeah. What do we think about the? Are we gonna? Do you think I'm gonna bite them? I'm so intrigued, so intrigued. So firstly, I started out with the shade Pride, which is just like this purple one. There isn't a deep shade in here at all. It's, you know, it's very bright, which I don't mind in the summer. To be quite honest, it's very rare I will deepen up a look. I know some people prefer to have all of their looks, you know, depth-wise, but it doesn't really bother me in the summer. I don't really tend to do that. And like I said, these mattes are so pigmented, and they're just, yeah, they are just really pretty. Just Odens, I know how to do a good matte formula, but we'll get into the shimmer formula of this palette when I get to it. I definitely have some thoughts compared to the other two. So I'm just going to start to slightly blend that through the crease. Not too much, because I'm going to go in and blend it out in a moment anyway. But just sticking this, and I'm trying to keep the shape quite rounded as well today. I don't really want to be too blown out, just because it's, I mean, it's not even a bright day. I should have done this look yesterday because it was really sunny, and today it's just really shit. Basically, just really shit. And then I'm just going to start blending the edges just with a F14, just a clean, fluffy brush. Just going to start blending those edges. It didn't take me too long to blend, to be honest. Yeah, just going to something like that. Just going to keep blending it out until I'm happy with the blends. So I'm happy with that for now. I'm going to go and pick up the orange, which is called Habitat. This one is beautiful. Again, a lot of kick up with the shades, but these, she definitely did well with the mattes to pick out one. They just blend together so effortlessly. There's not many blending out shades. I mean, you probably could use the light pink to blend out maybe the purple and this sanctuary shade down here, but as for like your green and your orange, there's no blending out shades. But these shadows do blend out on their own, so you don't have any problems with like needing a blended out shade, I don't think anyway, because I find that they blend pretty well on their own. Again, just like that. I'm just going to start to, again, just slowly blend it out, just so I don't have to go in at the end and not just like do all the blending, because it's a bit of a pain. And then lastly, we're going to go into the shade Rescue down here and pop this all on the inner corner. And I did kind of bring it onto the inner corner as well. Can you see just how pigmented that is? You could definitely put this like all over your lid. I'd be so happy with that in the summer. And they just blend into each other like so nicely. So I'm now just going to go back through the shadows. Wow, that is so pigmented. I'm going to go back through the shadows, blend them all out, and then we'll come back and we'll definitely discuss these shimmers. So now that that is where I want it to be, I'm going to go in with the shimmers. Now, firstly, I went in with my finger because the others picked up absolutely fine, no problems with a finger. And I went into the shade Kindred. Now, I don't know if the shimmer is very hardly pressed. It seemed to pick up so much better on a brush. But I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm just going to pick that up. Now, to me, that looks absolutely nothing like what it does in the pan. It's much more pigmented in the pan. Then it's very like more of like a lilac on my finger. And can you see I hardly get any payoff unless I really dig at it. But yeah, I didn't get as much payoff or as much sparkle. It was just a bit of like a dud shade, to be quite honest. I really wasn't impressed with it, and I'm really having to dig just to get any kind of like colour payoff. But I did find that it picked up absolutely fine with a brush. I went in with my Refa brush and it just picks up absolutely fine. So yeah, and it actually adds, you know, a little bit more colour to the brush. But for sparkle, it just doesn't do it for... yeah, it just does not do it for me, if I'm being totally honest. It's just very meh. It's just really not doing it for me. And then I flipped my brush over and I figured I was going in with brushes anyway, so I stick with the brush and I went in with that shade that's like that Charlotte shade that from the singles collection, but is Animalia. And again, just pick that up with a brush. And again, it just seems very hardly pressed. The shimmers in here are just not doing anything for me, and it just does it gives a nice sparkle, but it's just okay. As I think the other palettes just had that beautiful shine and sparkle to them. This is nice, but it's very I'd say like a fairy palette. Like it's just there, it's just like a really nice subtle shimmer. I'd be interested to definitely try the green to see whether that is more pigmented, but yeah, it's okay. It gives a really nice sparkle to the eye. It's just not like the others from the other palette. It's just not one of my favourites. And then I actually did my lower lash line, and I used Sanctuary on the lower lash line. So I used most of the shades in this palette, to be quite honest. I think the only ones I didn't use was Majestic and the two greens. I'll use the other one in my inner corner in a moment. Yeah, just use that on the lower lash line just to keep it nice and bright. I suppose I could have used green as well if I wanted to, but I didn't. So I didn't. And I'm just going to go now and add the inner corner. So for the inner corner, I had to use the shade Fauna. Again, it's a nice inner corner. I'm going to spray it this time just because I feel like it might pop a little bit more. So I'm just going to spray that one. And I did obviously lay that pink matte down in a hope that it would just make it, you know, stand out a little bit more. And it does. It's a beautiful, beautiful inner corner. Yeah. So that is kind of the finished look. I am going to go ahead off camera now, do my base makeup, then I'll come back, give you my final thoughts on all three of these palettes and show you the completed look. So we are back with the completed look. As always, please let me know down in the comments which of these three has been your favourite. Let's dive in and talk about the palettes. Oh, with the thing, I just like wrapped it around my bun just so it was in there basically. Let's talk about the palettes and what personal experience that I had with them. My favourite look was definitely not this one. I don't know what it is. The mattes are so beautiful. This one would definitely come into third place for me, even though I'm a bright lover. I just don't know. I feel like I have this colour story in like 1,000 other palettes with like a lot better shimmers, if that makes sense. I love the colour story that she came up with. It wasn't a colour story that I thought that she would have come up with, but I think she did really, really well. The mattes are very, very pigmented. They're easy to blend. They're an Odens eye matte. They're incredible. They're so pigmented, very easy to blend. Not so much beginner friendly, I wouldn't say, just because of how much pigmented they are. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. You have to know how to blend these out and how to work with their mattes. Especially from the brighter ones, this palette in particular. I don't really think this one would be beginner friendly, and it's not a colour story that I find people will be able to open the palette and be like, I want to create that look. It's a very much a jumbled up colour story, but it makes sense when it's on the eyes. So to me, if that makes sense, I mean, you could just stick to like the fours or maybe even the rows, you know what I mean? So yeah, if you want to look at it that way, if you are a beginner, then maybe try and split it into sections rather than opening it and being like, well, this makes absolutely no sense to me. There's not much depth in this palette, so if I did ever want to create a look where I wanted to add some depth, I would have to bring in another palette, so that would mean that this is more of a companion palette, and the shimmers just didn't do it for me at all. The inner corner looks stunning, it looks really nice, but the shimmers on the lid, I mean, unless I come close, like that one, this one here is very pretty, it's very, very sparkly, but that purple one is just, it's a bit of a dud for me, to be quite honest. I don't know if anyone else has had the same problem in their palettes. It feels very hardly pressed when you use it with a finger, but it picks it with a brush, so it's really confusing. But it's definitely not that like sparkly formula. This one is, like I say, a very subtle sparkle. It's nice and it's definitely there, but it's very subtle. So I'd definitely be interested to see perhaps how the green played out, seeing as that looks very, very pigmented, and it looked very pigmented in the swatch. And also this one looks really pretty, but again, I don't know if that's going to be more of like your topper sparkly shade. But I do like them, I do. I just wish that the matte, the shimmers had more pigment and just a little bit more to them compared like to match the mattes, if that makes sense. The next palette that I would put in second place would be the Sea Talk palette. I thought this palette was really, really nice, and the only reason it didn't get to number one is obviously it doesn't have many mattes. We literally have like 3 mattes and 2 of those are neutrals, and I'm not a neutral lover, but pairing it I think with this one, I think that might really work. Like you could use that dark brown matte or the dark blue matte to definitely, you know, deepen up some of these looks, so they might be really, really good palettes together. I might do a look where I combine all 3 palettes. Let me know if you want to do. I saw Battybean do a palette bingo with all 3 palettes, and I thought that was really cool, so let me know if you want me to do some more. The shimmers in here were really, really nice. I didn't have any problems. Looking at this sea spray, it looks like the purple one, like they look the same sort of formula. So yeah, you're not going to be able to see it on camera, I don't think, but they look very hardly pressed, but they're actually not. I'm just going to swatch them. So I'm just going to swatch the purple from here, and then that sea spray one from here. I don't know where because I'm stained. But yeah, they're just not there for me. Do you know what I mean? They're very pretty. They're the very subtle shimmer. So if you don't want a wham bam shimmer, you're probably going to really get on with these. But I don't think did I use that one? I know I definitely used this one. I think I didn't. I think I used this one, and this one, didn't I? Yeah. So I don't think I've used that one. So I might find the same sort of issue. Not issue, it's hard to say. The same sort of something that I don't particularly like in shimmers in these. But the thing with... Sorry, the thing with Odens Eye is they have different formulas. So if I didn't particularly like the shimmer, like I don't particularly like that purple shimmer, I just won't have to use it again. Do you know what I mean? Is it a waste of a palette for me? No, because I'm going to use, you know, all of nine other shades. It's just that one shimmer doesn't really do it for me. It doesn't put me off ever using the palette. I mean, look at that artwork as well, absolutely beautiful. And I really enjoyed the look that I created with this one. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. I think Lauren did a fantastic job. Coming in at number one was a palette I didn't think that I would rank at number one, but when I saw it, I just knew. I haven't got anything like this in my collection. It is the Flora Story palette. I don't have anything like this in my collection, but these shimmers are the sparkliest out of the whole of them. They were. I've only obviously used them once. But yeah, whether this one up here, Best Buds, no, I think I used that one. No, it's definitely more of a softer shimmer, so it's definitely, yeah, you can just see it's just more pigmented. It matches the shade that's in the pan. Yeah, I didn't have any problems with this palette. I loved all the shimmers. I loved all the mattes, the ones that I tried anyway. But yeah, I can't wait to definitely use this one. It is a little bit more neutral with a pop of purple, I think, but I just think it works. I think this colour story is fantastic, and it's definitely something that I do not own anywhere in my collection, and I could definitely see me reaching for this one a lot over the other two. So that is why this one had to come out on top, and I didn't even know about Makeup Just for Fun. So yeah, I'll definitely, like I said, everything will be linked down below. Their Instagram pages, their YouTube channels, that will all be in the description box. I of course won't be linking all of my makeup just because I've used different makeup for every single day. But if you want to know what I put on my face, definitely head over to my Instagram. That is also linked down below, just because everything will be on there and you'll be able to see everything that I've used. That is just something that I do. If I do like multiple looks, if I do multiple looks with one palette, or I'm using a collection of palettes, doing, you know, 3 looks basically, yeah, I won't link my makeup because I just don't use the same makeup every single day, and to be quite honest, I can't remember, and I just don't have the time to write it all down. Sorry. But I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it has helped you decide if you want to pick up on any of these palettes. Let me know down in the description box. Are you picking any up? Are you just shopping your stash? Are you watching reviews first and then deciding what you want to do? You know, are you just giving it a complete miss and just watching it from afar? Let me know down in the description box, you guys, because I really do love to hear from you. And I am sorry about the big greasy mop on my head. Like I said, I'm testing some hair oils because my hair is snapping like there's no tomorrow. And I'm going to go now and live my Friday. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I have a lot of housework to do. So I'm going to go and crack on with that. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.